everybody. Um, let's start this again. Hi, everybody. I'm here. I just finished, I think this is day 3 of teaching remotely, and I just wanted to connect with you all and give you a couple, very briefly, give you a couple of ideas, thoughts, tips, pep talk, whatever you want to call it. Let's start with the simple stuff. I'm finding that I had some really wonderful lessons today with a couple of people. Both content, but also in terms of the technology. So I'm using Zoom mainly. I've posted a short video with how to adjust the audio settings, so please take a look at that if you haven't already. If you have access to an external mic, it's making a huge difference in the sound quality. And if you have a headpiece or headphones, anything that you could use so you can hear the sound better, I think that also makes a huge difference. Make sure that you close all of the apps so nothing is taking away um, from the computer's energy, whatever you want to call it. So you could really focus on just streaming the video. Um, yeah, I think that's it. There are all these features of sharing the screen, and I'm working on getting better acquainted with that. We can actually mark the same score. But I think in terms of the technology, that's sort of my takeaway. Zoom is working the best. Now with these adjusted audio settings, it sounds decent. I feel like I can understand what you guys are playing, and it's going to work. I really think it's going to work. Which sort of leads me to the next thing, which is I think that we're all the last couple of weeks have been wobbly. Where's all of this going? How am I going to play my recital? What am I doing here? How's jury going to happen? I know that all of these things are very confusing and they're still somewhat in flux. But after doing this for the last 3 days, I can tell you it's happening. This is how we're learning right now. This is how I'm teaching you. This is how you guys are learning. And we just need to sort of make peace with it and really get the max out of it. And there are a lot of silver linings in this process. That we won't go into right now, but what I'm basically trying to say is get your mind adjusted to the fact that this is what it's going to be, and you can take advantage of me being actually more accessible to you via messenger and texting and emails and online stuff. So if you feel like you need to reach out to me in the middle of the day and just take a picture of the score, I actually have more time to answer you than I've ever before because we're now online, right? So I think that's what I wanted to say. Don't think that just because everything is in flux, then don't have to practice. I can roll off of bed and go to the lesson and then go right back to bed. Like, don't do that. That's not going to be good in the long run. Just stay focused on your pieces, stay focused on your repertoire, and really take ownership of the learning process. To tell yourself, I'm in charge. I have all of these resources. I have multiple recordings, and I have multiple professors, and I have all of this at my at my disposal, so I can actually learn better and I can advance. Think of it as a just reframing of a situation and just working to getting the max out of it, and not just playing dead and letting whatever happens because that's just not a good strategy. Right. So yeah, two very important things. First of all is get yourself on a schedule. I think, again, these last 2 weeks we've all been like, which way's up? But I think you're starting to get the feeling of, which classes are happening online, what can be scheduled, and then how much time you have in between. And one of my students said to that, I thought it was really smart. It's like looking back at this in 5 years, and you're going to ask, what did I get done while I was sitting at home and basically doing mostly nothing? Did I use the time wisely, or did I waste it by watching Netflix and playing video games? It's your call. So get a schedule going, figure out when you need to wake up, and then I strongly make the suggestion and encourage you to have a rotating list of things that you want to do. So for example, the list of 10 books you always wanted to read but never had the time. Get that list. Then get the list of the 10 pieces that you really wanted to hear, you never had time. If there's other fun things like I like to draw, I was talking to another student, said he likes to cook. Get yourself like focused on that hobby and put that in a list. And what happens is you wake up in the morning, you say, let me start with, maybe 2 hours of practice. Then let me read for half an hour. Then maybe let me exercise for half an hour. Then maybe I'll take a break and watch some Netflix for half an hour. Then I'll go read a book. Then I'll go cook. Then I'll maybe do 2 more hours of practice. And you built your day based on things that you actually want to do and not default to whatever is right in front of you. I hope that makes sense. But taking an active role in creating your schedule and filling your schedule with things that make you happy and that are supportive and positive and wonderful and fill you up with good energy, I think that's the best way to move forward. Now, again, some days are going to be better than others, and some days you're going to maybe not feel like doing any of it, and that's okay. We're all in this wavy territory. But I think if you have a plan, there's more chances of you actually getting to do something. I also want to talk about how the environment is affecting us, which is basically what I just said. When the world around us is not doing so well and there's so much uncertainty, that uncertainty is a little bit like poison vapors. Like we're all inhaling it and we're all processing it, and it starting to affect us, and it takes away from our energy, and then we collapse and we become smaller and smaller, and then we don't have any motivation to do anything, because what's the point? The world is going to end in 24 hours. Well, the world is not ending in 24 hours. We're still operating. We're still moving forward. There's a lot at stake. Obviously, there's a lot happening, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be aware of it. You should definitely be aware of it. But what I am saying is that after you inhale that a little bit, take a break from it and go inhale something that is healthy and positive and strong to counteract that. Don't just keep inhaling that energy. The image I gave my student today was, it's a little bit similar to when you go on stage to play a concert and you look at the audience and you suddenly feel that energy of anticipation, and for some people it's anxiety inducing. And once you start playing the piece and you start remembering, oh, I actually like this music, oh, actually it's quite beautiful, you forget about the audience. And this is really what's happening here. The outside world is the audience, and it's operating, it's sending us a lot of energy, a lot of heavy energy, quite depressing at times. And our job is to say, yeah, I acknowledge it, I know it's there, but I'm going to focus on what I can do, on my music and the things that are making me stronger and healthier, and focus on that energy. Again, it's not denying the other energy, it's just choosing to focus on something that is positive, that is enriching, and it's making you better in the future. Okay, hopefully that made sense. In terms of repertoire, I know I've been talking to a lot of you who are, again, in this in between, either you were supposed to play a recital and now there's no more recital, or you were going to present pieces, now you can't really present them. I think the best idea is for everybody to do both. I don't think that throwing away all the pieces you worked on for the duration of this last semester and just starting new rep because you feel the urge to start, I don't think that's a smart idea. I also don't think that you should only be doing the same old, especially if the piano is not as good as what you're used to, and you feel like it's actually diminishing, your ability is diminishing as you're repeating it. So basically my point is, choose a couple of pieces that you're excited to learn, that you're excited to start, and do a session on those, and do a couple hours on your old repertoire and try to improve that. So you keep going to the piano because there's something exciting for you to do there. You're not just repeating the same old, but you're actually, again, getting some new blood, new energy in there, and balance the two. Okay, so let's say 2 hours on this set and 2 hours on that set, or whichever way you want to balance it. And then the last thing I'm going to say is things that you could do when just moving your fingers is getting old. Things that you could do to help you learn the piece. You can, I know you're going to scream, but analyze the piece, even if it's the level of just marking phrases, beginning and endings, and just looking at the structure. It's so important, and you now have the time to do it. And we actually have time to maybe work on it. Maybe we'll do a live where we analyze stuff together. So analyze the piece. You can listen to different performances. Again, don't listen to just one or two. Listen to at least three so you get different perspectives. Maybe find a book that you can read online about the composer and the history of the piece. Again, most of the time we don't have time to do this. You have time to do this now. It's great. And find creative ways of, more creative ways of practicing. And there's a video that I've done a long time ago about how you could practice a piece that maybe it's a good time for you to revisit and watch. So I think this is it for now. This is already very long. I hope you're all doing well, that you're staying safe, you're staying healthy, wash your hands, clean the keyboard, right? And I'll talk to you next time, okay? Adios. Bye.